If you have a 96 through 98 Mustang and you have a broken odometer and you search on how to fix that, you're going to come up with dozens of videos showing you how to replace a gear set that looks like this. It's a worm drive gear here, runs off a little stepper motor in the assembly, and it meshes with this tooth gear, which is connected to the actual odometer and trip meter. And so I pulled this out. This is what was in the car because this odometer's been broken for a few years now. I just never worried about fixing it. But it's jointly owned by my son and I, and we decided we'd like to sell it. So I thought, well, let me take a look. So these gears are obviously not broken, but I bought a new set, all CJ Pony parts, which this worm drive gear is a little bit different in size. I decided to go ahead and replace them anyway. And so I'm not going to show you how to replace this gear set. Like I said, there's dozens of videos out there that already show you how to do that. But I'm going to show you a little more detail in the actual mechanical odometer itself and what that looks like and some of my other concerns about it. So we'll take a look at that. Now this mechanical odometer will go in there like this. There's three places to screw it down. There, there, and there. And just over here, over there, and over there. It was easy to take out. Well, I don't see anybody selling these mechanical odometer units. There may be a way to find one, I don't know. There is a number on this thing. This image here is of the odometer, mechanical odometer assembly after I took out the three screws and removed it. Now I've got the motor attached on the bottom. You can't see, you can barely see it through this translucent plastic. But what I wanted to show you is this is the CJ Pony Parts gear set that I put in. This gear here, the worm gear, is a little bit longer than the one that was in there. But you could actually put this on the motor shaft this way or flip it over and do it the other way because the hole goes all the way through. I did not realize it when I put this on, but this part right here in wider was a problem. If you look closely, you can see right in there all the flights of this worm drive gear are not meshing properly with that because this thick part here is in the way. So I thought that's a problem. So I decided to take it apart and flip that over. So we're going to take a look at that. Now, one thing I wanted to mention is that worm drive was very hard to push onto that motor shaft. I found that heating it with a hairdryer helped quite a bit. I first put these new gears in. See how that's wider? This in and this. This is more like the end of a drill bit. I believe this wide part was jamming the interaction with the driven gear. So I pulled it off, turn it around, and we'll try it again. Okay, this is after I took it out. You'll notice that wide part of the gear is down here at the bottom, and I made sure these tooth gears, these teeth on this gear here, would mesh nice and smoothly with this worm drive. And this looked like to not be a problem. So that's when I decided, okay, I'm going to go with this gear set arrangement here. Now I've taken this out with the instrument cluster over here. This is the mechanical odometer trip meter. This, if I can get this is the odometer, that's the trip meter. A little worm drive gear on that motor right over here interacts with this gear. When this gear turns, as you can see if we can do this correctly, it actually will only go in one direction to any significant amount. This gear here, that worm drive gear turns it. Look over there on the right. Oh, that's going the wrong way. As this turns, you can see on the odometer on the right, see the numbers moving? It's going from 3 to 4 over there on the right. Okay, this is worm. Now what I've done is there's normally a drive axle connecting this. There's a gear here. This is what turns the trip meter. See it over there on the left? The tenths moving. Okay. It looked like this trip meter was jamming at 0.8 of a mile, stopping the whole thing. So what I did was I took out this drive axle, which connects, that axle connects this over here, and then this gear on here interacts with that little black gear down there and turns it. So basically you're driving the odometer, and then an axle shaft connects the odometer to the trip meter. And the trip meter, see this little button here, you push that, winds it all back to 0. Now on the back side of this, you can see when you push that, trip meter button's on the back side now. When I push it, this goes like that. Now, can't really get into all that. I'm not going to try to do that at this point. Get a little better view of this little black gear. Now, inside here, this, I don't think I'm going to be able to show this. I'm going to try. See that white wheel? That's the tenths reading on the trip meter. Black gear, see it turn down there, the tenths meter? You can see it turning. When it gets around one whole revolution, there's a little depression on it, and a little deal falls into there, and it starts turning the next wheel. See it? That's when it starts going into, after it's gone a mile, it'll flip over and trips it. Every time around it does that. I had noticed that at 0.8 of a mile, it stopped working. And so I can't really find anything wrong here. I'm a little suspicious that there could be something wrong with this spring here. There's a spring down in there. It holds that white tenths wheel, puts some pressure on it, keeping it against the next mile wheel. I'm suspicious that spring could be weak. I'm not sure. This axle connects the odometer to the trip meter. I'm going to leave that out. Wasn't that hard to get all this out of there. In fact, that you can push that up and it'll come out. The trip meter should too. But what I'm going to do first is just leave that disconnected and see if it'll work now by flipping this white worm drive gear up the opposite way that I had it before. I really couldn't see from all the videos. There's dozens of videos about how to do this. This was the drive gear that was in it. I don't believe this is the original one. And when I took it off, I didn't pay attention to which way it went. If it went, one way or the opposite way, like that. So anyway, I'm going to put it together like this with the drive axle out here. So the odometer hopefully will work. Trip meter probably won't. Well, it won't because it's not being turned. If that works okay, I may put that drive axle back in. But before I do all this, I'm going to take my air compressor and blow any possible dirt or anything out of this. Put it back together and see if it'll work. Okay, I took it out and drove it. I couldn't safely video it while I was driving, but I drove for 11 miles and the odometer worked fine for that 11 miles. So that proves that the sender on the transmission, little stepper motor, and the new CJ Pony Parts gears are all working correctly. What I don't know is whether or not if I put that axle shaft back into the trip meter, if it'll still work. But I'm going to do that when I get a chance, and we'll do another video on that. So stay tuned. Please like the video and subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate it. Thank you.